Welcome back, Mr. Goodberry. The First Star Logistics studio is fully equipped and ready to record.
Welcome back to Bengals On The Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. I'm your host, Joe Goodberry. Training camp is underway for the Cincinnati Bengals. 2025 has kicked off. We have made it. It's been a long summer. We've done a lot of things. We've looked at a lot of film. We've analyzed these players to death. And now we're going to analyze them some more because now it's really football. Well, sort of. Training camp is our first step before preseason, before cuts, and then regular season, of course. But the preseason and the training camp matters. And we're going to start with that. Just a quick, what are we looking for? What's the idea, right? Why do we look at these clips? Why do we care? They're just practicing. On the one hand, true, they're practicing and we don't have the context for what they are trying to work on. There may be a player that's trying to work on a certain technique in his back pedal, right? And he gets burned and he's trying to perfect it. And yet to us, it looks like he's terrible. So I try not to evaluate those things as much. What I'm looking at more is, and there's some people that'll do stats like this guy went 21 to 23 for 340. Like that's just too much. You don't know what's going on. And people count things that should have been sacks, I think, all the time. What we're looking for is player evaluation from a very microscopic level and how the team is using these players. What are the new packages? Where are they using these guys? Where are they mixing them around? What looks different? What looks the same? It could be the defense, especially, right? Al Golden. How are you using these guys? Are you blitzing? Are you rotating them? What's happening? What's the linebacker group look like? Dylan Fairchild, we'll put the microscope right on him. That's me winding the microscope down. Stupid, but putting the microscope down on Dylan Fairchild and trying to get an idea of what he looks like every rep we get, every clip we get that's posted on Twitter or online. And that's, hey, I got to say that. Shout out to all the beat guys that are there. I'm not down there. Won't pretend like I'm down there. But I will evaluate what we have. I will watch everything that these guys post. I will listen to their podcasts, read their stuff, and then gather all the information I can and bring it to you on this one episode where we're at. We're 2 days in at the point of this episode. But the idea is to make sure you go follow those guys, read their stuff, gain your own opinion based on what they're feeding us, I guess. But, you know, from the Paul Daner Juniors to Jay Morrison's, Kelsey Conway's, James Rapine, all the way down. Mike Petraglia. I don't want to forget anyone. Caleb No has posted a lot of stuff. Jeremy Rao has posted a lot of stuff. Go on Twitter. I have a Bengals specific list. It's got all of these guys on there and women, all of these beat writers on there that when they post those clips from camp, it all comes up on this list. You can watch it, you can follow it, and I will break them down for you for subscribers and for the viewers here on Bengals on the Brain. So I've got about 5 minutes of footage here from things people have posted, and Dan Horde. Can't forget Dan Horde because his observations every day are must read on Twitter. All right, without further ado, even though I hate that saying, it's fitting here. Let's dive into some of these clips that I have lined up, and let's see how camp's going so far. I want to start off by saying or mentioning here that, hey, Joe Burrow's in the pistol. If you don't know what the pistol is, because we're starting the season, let's say the center is here. You got your guard, tackle, right? We're looking at it sideways here. Under center would have the quarterback here. Shotgun would be here. Pistol is about right there. It's about halfway. And the reason you do that is because you can get a lot of wide zone and outside runs that you can't really do when the guy is when the quarterback's at shotgun and the running back's next to him. But when the quarterback is here at the pistol and the running back is here or here or here, you can actually get those right in correct angles to get to these outside runs. And it's not something the Bengals have done too much. They've done it a little bit. I think they should do it a lot more. So when I see things like this, I want to note it. This is from day one, this clip here. And did you see that, right? What did you just see, right? As he's going to drop back. He's going to turn as if he's going to hand the ball off. It's play action, but out of pistol. And he's just going to turn and throw the ball. And then he's going to get the ball back, get right back into his stance, do the same thing again, act like he's doing the play action, looks left this time, comes middle. So this is probably more than likely all one play, right? All one play, meaning he's got one receiver that goes this way. He's got Gesicki going this way, and I believe he's going to throw another one here out to the outside. So he's running the same play or getting through these routes here all together, all at once. So he can go through progressions and have the timing ready. I don't know if you can hear the audio, but the defense is really cheering it on this play here, where Burrow takes the snap, doesn't really know where to go with it, and then takes off to his left before running out of bounds. And we'll break this one down and go a little bit longer on this one. But I want to point out Dylan Fairchild as many times as we can. He's number 63. He's at left guard. If you weren't sure of who these other guys are, because it's been a while, 90 is Chris Jenkins here. He's going against Cody Ford. Cody Ford is starting at right guard right now. Dylan Fairchild is starting at left guard. If you're wondering who the guards are, you haven't been keeping up. If you're wondering where BJ Hill is, 92 is back here. He's on the sideline. They say he's healthy, but he did have a veteran day rest on day 2, and it looked like some of these young guys were getting a lot of snaps. So there's Chris Jenkins Jr. out there. The guy Dylan Fairchild's going against is TJ Sllayton. He's wearing DJ Reader's 98. He is our new nose tackle, so that makes a ton of sense. And if you watch, I think Dylan Fairchild does a really good job against him. Really good battle between the two of them. Let's rewind it and go again. What you see is Fairchild ends up with his hands on the outside. It looks like Slayton's got his hand in him, in his chest, is what I want to say. And so he's controlling the situation. And it looked like potentially we had a play action or at least a look to this running back. And that's why Sllayton seemed to have gone to the outside on this. But now, once he realizes, it's a pass, we're going to watch Fairchild now reset his anchor on the inside, get his hands back in the inside. I don't know if you saw it really quickly there when we went between players right there. Fairchild got his hands back inside now and locked him in, which is, again, if you remember, Fairchild coming out of Georgia, we talked a lot about his hand usage and technique. Already, I'm going to tell you, spoiler alert, we're going to watch Fairchild a few times in these clips. His hands look great right now. So he's locked in. He, even with the arm over there from Sllayton, Fairchild's moving, sliding with him. No issue blocking him at all, which is nice to hear. Next play here is an out route to T. Higgins, and we have Cam Taylor-Britt breaking it up. Cam Taylor-Britt, very interesting player this offseason and in camp. Is he still a starter? So far, he is. If you're wondering, Dax Hill is healthy. He's being rotated in. So far, the starters have been DJ Turner, who actually we get a clip of right there. There's DJ Turner, and he's on Mike Gesicki, I believe. I don't think he is, actually. I think he's looking this way, so disregard what I said. DJ Turner and Cam Taylor-Britt, who's on the other side, are the boundary corners. The slot guy is Josh Newton, who we will circle right here. You see Newton, and he's kind of bouncing like, oh, I messed up. Like right away, as soon as the ball snapped, I think he realizes I screwed this up. I'm not supposed to come over here, or I'm not supposed to do whatever's happening here. And you just watch his reaction, right? Where he's like, crap. And then he is, his body language and everything. And if you're wondering linebackers who we got right here, this linebacker is first time we're getting a glimpse in the uniform. 44 is Demetrius Knight. So, just going to point these guys out to you. It may seem obvious to some. To some, it's our first time ever seeing him. But that's not the only linebacker out there. There's Barrett Carter, 49. He's covering, it looks like Samaje Perine. It could be Chase Brown. That might be Chase Brown. Perine would have some calves or probably calves and thighs exploding out of those little shorts. I think that's Carter covering Chase Brown, which is interesting because this is a base defense, it looks like. Probably a nickel package because we see the nickel corner. So what kind of nickel package do we have here? And is Carter being rotated in as a coverage linebacker? It's worth noting. It's worth wondering what the role there is for Carter as a rookie. Now let's zoom in a little bit on this. Little double clutch there from T. Higgins. Did you see that? Let's see if we can get it in the slow-mo. Grab and then the double clutch. So when you bang and then come back down and grab it again, typically you don't want that. That a lot of times leads to drops because if a guy hits your elbow or your arm or your wrist while you're double clutching, your hand's going to come out of whack. You're not going to catch that ball. T does get his hands back on it, but instead of being able to pull it in and secure it and keep it away from Cam Taylor-Britt or turn his body away from Cam Taylor-Britt, instead he's kind of stuck out there with his hands out. And because of that, because he's stuck out there, Cam gets his hand, and we're going to get a few pass breakups from Cam and DJ Turner. And I think it shows what they're coaching these guys a little bit more. But he's playing through the hands. So he's going to come through here, and he's really going to rip at that catch point as T is trying to bring it down. You see right there? He rips and rakes his arm down. And I think we're going to reverse angle eventually. It's on a different clip because it's vertical. From Dan Horde, where Cam Taylor-Britt really gets it in there and then yanks through it as they're flipping to the ground. Right there. Yeah, you can see it. There's a good, we actually got it on this. But everyone goes crazy. There's Dax Hill on the sideline with his helmet. The whole team loses it. They love it, you know. We'll pause it right here for a quick moment. I want to go over who is on the defensive side. So Geno Stone and Jordan Battle, as expected, are your starting safeties, but it's been such a discussion for the last 2 years. Figure I should bring it up. If you're wondering where was Logan Wilson on the previous play, I don't know, but he is out there with the starting linebackers. So not to get too concerned. It looks like TJ Sllayton, big 98, Chris Jenkins, number 90. We have Joseph Osai standing up here. Again, we talked about this a little bit. People were concerned that, hey, we're going strictly back to a 4-3, or what's the Viper stuff that Al Golden plays? We are still seeing a lot of odd fronts, it looks like, with this guy stand up here. But Myles Murphy is playing right defensive end where he should be. He always, all of his highlights look better at right defensive end. Spoiler, we're going to get another one. And he's got his hand down. So you see the difference between the one end here and one end on this side is this guy's standing up. And we're going to see some clips where these ends are dropping into coverage a bunch. So Al may be a very multiple defensive guy. I don't think we should be calling him 3-4 or 4-3 until we know much, much more. The O-line is what we thought. And this looks like Samaje Perine at the running back spot here, because that's Chase Brown behind him. And we got to check down to Samaje for minimal gain. But that's not what I want to point out. I want to point out Myles Murphy. And I don't think I have the sound on. I can hear it in the background clip noises. You're going to hear a coach, and it sounds like the defensive line coach yell, Jerry Montgomery, "There you go, Myles." And you're going to see why as he goes. Really good get off here for Myles, number one, right? Did you see that? Really good get off and then work inside. And I highlighted there. There you go, Myles, right on that. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Let's slow it down just a little bit more so you can see. Look at that get off. Like, Brown's with him. Brown matched his energy there and said, "Oh, you're getting off. I'm getting off too." Orlando Brown Jr. at left tackle. But everyone else is in their stance. And if you're wondering, like, is anyone early here? No, that ball is snapped. That ball is snapped. Wait, I like when guys get off the snap really good. So Orlando Brown Jr., Myles Murphy, great job here. But what it does a lot of times when an end gets off like this, when he rips off the line, you're forcing that tackle to get out with him. Like, they're very in sync here, so I don't know who triggered who, but when you can get off this fast, and it's one of the things that makes Trey Hendrickson so good, is his get off is really good. It's not as good as like some of these guys here, but this is like freaky stuff getting off right here. I really like this out of Myles Murphy. What I want to say is when you do that, the tackle ends up really gaining depth and opening to the outside, because typically on a real good get off, you're going to run this arc and get around him and get to the quarterback, right? Should I use a better color than this? Is the color no good for seeing? Yeah, I think no blue. I don't think any of these colors are good against this background. Yellow? Meh, maybe. Maybe we'll go stick with yellow for a little bit. Unimportant, Joe. Move on. So if you can get this tackle to open up, you have an inside path typically. But it only works if two things here. If you get off really fast and the tackle doesn't, just finish it, right? If the tackle matches you and gets out with you, cut back inside. So for Myles to see this and react that fast, if you've watched the film we've broken down over the last 2 years of him, he is slow to react typically. And he doesn't string moves together here. So the get off plus now he's going to go inside right there with a little swipe too. He misses a little. It's only criticism. If you come back to this, there's the arm of Orlando Brown. If you could really knock that down and pin that on Orlando Brown Jr., you've got a clear straight win to Joe Burrow. But Brown's a little too good for that, right? And he's a big dude, strong dude, and he gets his hand out there just enough. And then the coach does it again in my ear. There you go, Myles. Still, impressive rush. Worth noting because that get off will win you a lot. And I think Myles, one of his better rushes as a rookie against the Steelers. He had an insane get off in one of those plays. I think the Colts last year too, if I'm not mistaken. Again, starts from the get off. We got a run here to Chase Brown. We've got a mix of backups in on the offense and defense. You may see guys like Dejon Anthony right there. DJ Ivy is 38 over there. 81 over here, Jermaine Burton. And 67, a new backup, Cordell Volson. Charlie Jones is over here too. So shout out Charlie Jones. We don't get to see him too much. Good to see him practicing. Cam Sample as well, while we're talking about injured guys practicing. Cam Sample, he looks like he's getting rotated with the number ones. Whenever I see random clips, and we'll probably point it out when we get some more clips here. So I assume Cam Sample's got a strong footing on a roster spot this year. But right now you don't have Trey or Shamar. So it makes sense. It can't just be Osai and Miles Murphy. Sample's got to rotate in there as well, right? So that makes sense. I think Sample still looks a little stiff right now, coming back from his injury. So things we're looking at as guys are coming back, like how do you look? How are you moving? It typically takes time to come back from major injuries. But that's not the point of this clip here. As Taj Brooks getting our first look at that rookie. Man, them thighs thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. He's about to run through someone when they're allowed to. But let's keep an eye on McKinley Jackson here, number 93, second-year nose tackle. He wasn't 93 last year, right? Or was he? Oh, he was originally, I think, in the 60s. He got 93 after the season or in the preseason. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The number 2, I want to point out, the number 2 right guard, because Cody Ford is the number 1 right guard right now. The number 2 is Jackson Kirkland. If you're not nervous enough about the starting offensive line, the number 2 is Jackson Kirkland. I've never been a Jackson Kirkland fan. There are flashes, but I think he's too tall, doesn't play physical enough, and I don't think he moves well enough either. But I don't know if you can see my circle. The number 2 center is Lucas Patrick. Apparently, we heard afterwards, based on reports, and I can't remember who said it now, I'm sorry, that Matt Lee is dealing with something, which is why he wasn't center number 2 and Lucas Patrick is. So I still expect Patrick to move back over to guard and give Cody Ford a competition. That's not going to be settled. But eyes on McKinley Jackson here as he takes it to Jackson Kirkland. And this, by Taj Brooks, wouldn't have been a big run. It would have been a tackle for a loss, in my opinion. You get the hand in his chest. He completely, I wonder if I can get back real fast and get the hand right on the chest. One more frame. Come on, work with me. Let's see if we can get it here. Right there. So you get the hand in his chest. Right there, McKinley Jackson. And then you connect, and now you're going to disengage, or at least gain depth, gain room, get your vision, get your eyes. I think McKinley Jackson struggled with his vision at times last year. You get your eyes on the running back here that's getting this handoff. You've got inside positioning. It looks like we're running probably outside zone here. And McKinley Jackson gets there, not only holds him at bay. You see that? He's completely got him locked out at this point. He gets getting hands. He is within, he just put his hands and wrapped Taj Brooks and let go right away. That is a tackle for a loss by McKinley Jackson. I would also like to point out while we're here, Jalen Rivers. I believe Jalen Rivers is playing left tackle with the second team. This may be him here. That could be Lucas Patrick. I don't want to circle him yet. I should let it go another. Yeah, that was Lucas Patrick with the taped up ankles. Jalen Rivers is at left tackle, and you're going to see in a second, whatever DN, there he is. Let me go back one more frame for us. Right there. Whatever DN this is here, and I think it's Cedric Johnson, 52. Rivers is getting stood up. So if we know wide zone, right? Let's say Rivers is here at left tackle, and this is the D end. We got our guard, we've got our center, and we're trying to run wide zone, okay? The first read for the running back is this tackle. If this tackle can, and we're going to just put those guys back, if this tackle can go out and seal him off, the running back's going to take this all the way. If the tackle cannot seal off that end and ends up being a fight right there, or that end gets inside, well, if the end goes inside, then we're going outside. What I wanted to say is if we end up with a stalemate there where the end still can get to the outside, like he clearly is right here, you see his eyes, then the running back's going to read the next read, the next guy, the next blocker. which is Cordell Volson, who seems to be up here, and then Lucas Patrick, for a glimpse, gets that linebacker as well. So it looks like left guard, center get their block done. I wouldn't say Jalen Rivers does, and I wouldn't say Jackson Kirkland does. I think McKinley Jackson looked really good here and potentially got a tackle for a loss on that. So every run goes for a big run in camp, but it's not always the case. I want to see, was Burrow in the pistol in this one too? Or is this straight up shotgun? I can't tell the depth. And I don't see a running back there to give me an idea. But Burrow's going to quickly get the snap, try and make Geno Stone miss. Geno Stone on a blitz, who didn't blitz very often at all last year. And then Oren Burks, our first look at Oren Burks, number 42, the veteran linebacker, originally out of Vandy, with the pass breakup. So let's go in slow motion a little bit here. We're kind of sliding protection right, which is interesting here, because if you're sliding your protection right, so you see all these guys kind of, all the old linemen going this way, but the blitz comes this way. I will say that's a win for the defense. If we're sliding away and we accidentally, have the blitzer go the other way, we're going to see on another angle, the D end here drops out, and they were showing blitz from this side, but they end up dropping out on the side. That's exactly what you want from your defense. I'm going to show it to you one way. It's actually going to come the other way. We want to disguise it, right? So the free man, I already saw someone talk about offensive line, O-line versus D-line. No, the free guy on a blitz, that is Joe Burrow. And that's his responsibility to identify them pre-snap. And if he misses, get the ball out quick. Meaning if he's wrong pre-snap, get the ball out quick or make that guy miss. So I'm not sure if Burrow would have made Geno Stone miss here or not. We know Geno Stone's not a great tackler. We know Burrow's pretty elusive. So do with that what you will. So Burrow ends up stepping up and just trying to dump this ball off kind of haphazardly as he's just, and the play's over, right? I think he realizes that, and he'll try to give his guy a chance here. And it's Samaje Perine in the flats with Oren Burks breaking it up. So that's our last clip for the first segment here. Just quickly here. This looks like 96, right? That's got to be Cam Sample standing up again at the DN spot. Josh Newton in the slot. That's not what we're watching for, though. We'll let it play first as the Bengals go deep to Andre Yoshivash. But the play is broken up by DJ Turner. A couple things here I want to first start with. Dylan Fairchild versus Chris Jenkins. If you want to focus on that really quickly as this is playing, you can see Fairchild does a really good job sinking his hips, getting his hand underneath. Got one hand on the shoulder, one on the hip of Jenkins, and he's riding Jenkins around to create this pocket, right? So he's doing a good job there. Again, with his hands. I wish I would have slowed this one down, but let's see if we can get it to see what I'm saying right there? Rides it out there. Burrow hits that back foot. Ball coming out. We got a high point situation from Yoshi. This is something he has struggled with just a bit. See, Oren Burks is out there at linebacker. Again, he was covering Chase Brown. You see Chase Brown right there. Something Yoshi has struggled with just a tad, just a little bit, is getting these balls at the highest point and feeling comfortable with his hands when he does it. And I slowed this down in my own copy, but I wonder if I can get it here. And reeling these balls in. But I want to focus on DJ Turner here because I think it's really Turner. You see, where's Turner's eyes? He's back looking at that ball, right? But at the same time, he's on sticky coverage. And look where his hand is going. In between. When I talk about playing the hands or playing the ball, he's kind of looking at the ball here. So you could say he's playing the ball. But typically you're going to turn and actually face and go and make a play at the highest point, which would be, in that range. But when I say you're playing your hands, if my hands are open, like Yoshi's are right here, and there's a gap between them like this, I'm going to try and stick that hand between your hands. If you're trying to catch this and my hand comes up in between, how can you catch that ball? You can't. That's playing the hands. That's why a lot of coaches teach that. And if you're going to watch Turner here, he's going to do that. I should have slowed this down. I know I should have slowed this down. There's got to be an option for it, right? You see his hand get in there. There it is. And then the punch. But it's a nice play by Turner playing through it. This is something that we talked about a lot when Turner was a rookie, that he was just buzzing around these guys and couldn't really affect the ball. The last 2 years now, he is breaking up these passes. In fact, I think he looks a little thicker. That's another thing you can take away from camp. I think he looks stronger. I think his thighs look stronger. I think his arms look stronger. If he is a little bit thicker this year, I wouldn't be surprised. He's a full-grown man now, right? Third year in the NFL. You should be. Again, DJ Turner on the outside at the boundary, Josh Newton inside. We have Cam Sample as the left defensive end here going against Marius Mims. So you're wondering what the rotations look like there. Sample's going to try and take the inside. We're looping inside right here. You see him? Mims is just going to walk him inside. There's another angle. I'm trying to remember who posted the other angle. Maybe Petraglia. But if you get Mims here, Mims super balanced, right? Like you're going to see his one foot is up here. But as this other foot turns into the power foot, and then his other foot's going to step down, his arms are going to extend, and he's just going to ride Sample inside. We'll see if we can, right there. See what I'm saying? Like, you're wide open. Burrow looking at Chase here, like, hey, Chase, you want this ball? You're faster than I am. But Chase is looking to go block for him, I think. So would Osai, who should have, I'm assuming Osai was the right defensive end there, would Osai have gotten over and gotten to Burrow? I think he would have. He pulls up right there. So minimal gain. You see that logo at the top? That's James Rapine, if you're wondering. Cam Sample, though, why he was out there as much as he was. Myles Murphy went down with, I'm assuming, cramps. They said a super hot day 2. These are clips from day 2 mostly. And T. Higgins went down. Myles Murphy went down. And I think Josh Newton threw up. So we're going to see Cam Sample here going against Orlando Brown Jr. for a second before going back inside. And I want to show you here, because there are quite a few clips of the D-line stunting where the end's going to go in, which we just saw. I think we may have tried to do that in the previous play, where Mims just washed Sample inside, and the D tackle is going to go outside. And you're trying to cause confusion for this left tackle and left guard here. And right here, you would think you do, because I think this is Chris Jenkins. I think it's Chris Jenkins doing a great job of trying to hook his guard. Hook that guard, and then he can't get over to Sample, and Sample runs in free at Joe Burrow, right? So Chris Jenkins doing his job, doing the dirty work here as a defensive tackle, but Fairchild gets over there. Look at that. Watch how clean Fairchild gets his hands out of there. It's all that jiu-jitsu. Get out of there. Completely pass him off to Orlando Brown Jr., and then come over and help out Ted Karras to pick that up. And then Sample and Karras get into it. Just a little bit of pushing and shoving. They've been on the same team for a few years now, 4 years now. Probably nothing serious. Camp. It's hot out. It's good enough reason. We got a run play here, but an interesting wrinkle to the run plays. We got a screen pass built into it. So you see how that affects, I think, Demetrius Knight right here, as Knight starts to go out with I can't tell who it is. Is that Jamar Chase? Could be Jamar Chase. I think we have a 3 linebacker defense here, though, based on this. So I can't see the entire thing. Just judging based on what we got. Let's go with it. Ted Karras, though, climbing to the second level. He's going to go up and get one of these linebackers. I think he's going to get... Actually, I'm wondering if that's Josh Newton now that I think about it at that spot. Either way, doesn't matter, Joe. You're getting yourself confused here. Ted Karras is going to go get Logan Wilson. You're going to see Drew Sample. I believe this is Drew Sample here. Going to go and get whoever this guy is here. Now watch Drew Sample, though. Missed. And I think that's Geno Stone. That looks like a 2. That could be 42. It could be Oren Burks. So, don't know who it is. But we've got a miss there. And I want to go back just a little bit because I want to see this offensive line and see if we can get anything from the O-line, because the D-line really, watch them all at the same time, sink their hips and get leverage. Do you see that all together? Watch them all together. I mean, you're getting hands to the face there from whoever this is. I'm assuming that's Chris Jenkins. But you saw TJ Sllayton next to him, right? Let's go back one more clip if we can. Sllayton is at the nose next to him under Fairchild. You can't see what happens, but I do see there that Fairchild was pretty walked back into the backfield right there. So if that's Sllayton, and it is, it looks like 44 or 98 Sllayton, 44 is right there. Demetrius Knight. Hey, Cam Taylor Britt running it out. Okay. But if that's Sllayton doing his thing, like I said, he might be a really big addition for the nose tackle and defensive tackle room. Beautiful throw by Joe Burrow. Oh my God. You can watch this guy throw balls all day long. Outside shoulder on a vertical. There's nothing you can do. There's other angles of that you'll see on the internet. Nothing he can do. I mean, even Cam's right there at the end is like, dude, no corners defending that. Perfect placement. Easy catch over the shoulder. And shouldn't say easy. Nothing's easy. All right, next play. Pistol again, right? We got more pistol. That's what I'm talking about with that. The formation with the placement Joe Burrow is in with the running back behind him. We got a little play action. Okay, now we can get into our full drop back. So what I like about pistol, it's not shotgun. So you can run out of it. You can run more things out of it. And your D-line has to at least respect the run a little bit. So you see that right there. I want to show you what it does to some of this D lineman here when we go do our. Look at Joseph Osai. Osai right here starts bouncing in. He looks like he's going to go defend the run. Like he's sure the run is happening because that doesn't look like a stunt or a twist to me. Well, maybe it is because here's TJ Sllayton getting out that way. So I'm reacting live with you guys here. Not sure of anything. Big play down the field. T. Higgins on DJ Turner. Touchdown. Bengals. That is a far throw. There's another angle of this. That thing lands at the 10 and Burrow throws it from his own 40. So 50 yards in the air on that one. This is the same play, I believe. And it looks like Osai is going inside, but he is going multiple gaps inside. So I'm not sure. Another angle of it. Looks like man coverage because we saw Cam Taylor-Britt running with somebody on the other side. Good throw, good catch. Zoom in angle here of Chris Jenkins and Dylan Fairchild. This side is where my eyes are at, guys. If you're wondering where we're looking, just over my picture. Maybe I'll even move my picture to the side for this one, although I got that there. Okay, so Jenkins is going to go with power to the middle, try to run through Fairchild here. Fairchild is going to re-anchor his arms. You see this arm is key here as he kicks this one out. He's going to loop it around and get back underneath and back into his chest while his other hand here has a grip on Chris Jenkins. There it is. You see that hand get back inside? I'll play it one more time for you so you can see it in motion. Keep your eyes on the left side there. Get your hand back inside. You're doing great. There's Jermaine Burton, and that is a Jermaine Burton type catch as the crowd goes wild here, where he is deep sideline, body control, looks like a freak athlete, ball skills. I mean, that is Jermaine Burton. Keep your feet in. We'll count it. Big play down the field. It'd be nice to have him as a weapon. All right, we got some vertical here. I think these are mostly all Dan Horde, but they're going to give us some different angles here as Burrow goes to his left here. This is the Geno Stone blitz play. And what I wanted to point out was you've got your 3 receivers on the side here. I think 2 of them being tight ends, but you have Demetrius Knight and then Joseph Osai, I want to say. But if you watch Knight and Osai, they were showing blitz and then they back out. Is that Osai? I can't tell what number that. It's got to be Osai. But, no, it's 51. Isaiah Thomas. But you're going to hear the important part is here. I'm going to leave the volume here for this one. Listen to right behind us here is Al Golden. He's going to say, "Nice job, Geno. Nice job."
Geno, that's so freaking good.
That's so freaking good. He says, "Good job, Geno. That's so freaking good." He's talking to Geno Stone. Hey, good job. That's the breakup by Cam Taylor-Britt. We're just enjoying these vertical ones. These alternate looks by Dan Horde, who seems to always have the best positioning. That's a way to see the ball, Cam. Way to punch the ball is what the coaches are saying there if you didn't hear it.
That's a way to see the ball, man. That's a way to see the ball, son.
So, they're good things here for Cam Taylor-Britt.
Posture! Go win it! Finish!
D's feeling it. That was from day one. And that'll do it for this episode of Bengals on the Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. I hope you enjoyed me taking the clips from all the beat guys, put them together, and give you my take and my analysis and slowing them down and cutting them up. That's my contribution to this Bengals media landscape, I guess. But make sure you go follow those guys, get it from the source, right? And I'm just here for the analysis. That's the word I wanted. Which we'll have again Friday. And this episode is Friday. Great. My next episodes, I'll actually be on vacation. So I'm going to start to get a little bit early and maybe a little out of date. I gotta have those episodes done before I leave on Tuesday next week. Don't worry, we'll make it work. We always got Bengals on the brain, whether we're at home at camp in Cincinnati or in Virginia Beach. I can't wait until next time. Hooday.
Bengals fans, tired of the same old post-game chatter? Want real insight beyond the scoreboard? Then you need Bengals on the Brain with Joe Goodberry, presented by First Star Logistics. Joe Goodberry isn't just a fan, he's a die-hard Bengals football analyst. Every week, Joe dives deep into the Bengals game film, breaking down the plays that mattered, revealing hidden strategies, and uncovering the true impact of individual performances. Get ready for post-game analysis like you've never heard before, player evaluations that go beyond the stats, and the most in-depth Bengals draft coverage on the internet. Don't just watch the Bengals, understand the Bengals. Subscribe to Bengals on the Brain with Joe Goodberry on the First Star Media Group's YouTube channel. Get smart, get obsessed, get Bengals on the Brain.